a film or tell a story. And so when you say these years and the amount of people that I've met.
You've seen John Wick. You've lived through the Matrix. That means you know Keanu Reeves, the quiet force who became a global icon almost overnight. But his success didn't just inspire admiration, it stirred jealousy. Actors began treating him as a rival, mocking his calm style and battling him for roles. And now, at 61, Keanu has finally revealed the 6 Hollywood giants who pushed him beyond forgiveness. And their names will stun you. Alec Baldwin, the legend. Keanu Reeves refused to stand beside again. Among the 6 names Keanu Reeves finally admitted he could never forgive, Alec Baldwin was the most shocking, because the hostility between them wasn't built on jealousy or competition, but on something Keanu hates more than anything else: public humiliation and reckless behavior that endangers others. Their conflict began quietly in the late 1990s, when both men were rising in prestige. But Baldwin's notorious temper was already making producers nervous. Keanu, who valued calmness on set, saw Baldwin as the exact opposite of everything he believed an actor should be. The turning point came in 2003 during a private industry roundtable. Baldwin, irritated by criticism from a director, suddenly erupted and pointed at the actors around him. He snapped, "Some of you don't even deserve to be in this room." Then he looked straight at Keanu. That moment changed everything. For someone as reserved as Keanu, the insult wasn't about ego, it was about respect. Years later, Reeves gave a rare, candid statement in a Japanese interview. "Once someone shows you contempt, you don't forget it." Industry insiders understood exactly who he meant. As the years went on, Baldwin's controversies exploded. Physical altercations, legal disputes, on-set outbursts, and later, the tragedy on the set of Rust. To Keanu, this pattern wasn't random. It confirmed what he always believed. Baldwin's impulses made him dangerous, not just difficult. Reeves reportedly told a producer in 2011, "Chaos isn't talent. Chaos destroys talent." Since then, every attempt to pair them in ensemble films has failed because Keanu refuses without explanation. They have not spoken in over 15 years, don't greet each other at industry events, and avoid standing within the same photo frame. Shia LaBeouf, the actor who turned Keanu's respect into disgust. Keanu Reeves' dislike for Shia LaBeouf didn't grow slowly. It snapped into place the moment Shia crossed a line Keanu considers sacred, turning the film set into a circus. The first spark came in 2006, when both were attending the same studio workshops. Shia, already known for impulsive stunts, interrupted a discussion by mocking veteran actors for being too stiff. Keanu, sitting only 2 chairs away, stared at him in disbelief. A producer told Film Comment that Keanu whispered afterward, "He confuses disruption with depth." That quiet sentence marked the beginning of a Cold War. But the real collapse happened during a charity event in 2008. Shia showed up intoxicated, ranting about fake Hollywood saints, and then joked loudly that Keanu was the most boring Zen robot I've ever met. People laughed nervously, but Keanu didn't. He just looked at him and told, "Cruelty isn't honesty. It's insecurity." Then he walked out. Everyone knew it was meant for Shia. Over the years, Shia's arrests, violent altercations, bizarre performance art projects, and constant clashes with directors only deepened the divide. Reeves viewed this pattern not as rebellion, but as irresponsibility. When a major studio tried to cast them together in 2014, Keanu allegedly declined the offer within minutes, simply saying, "Not a healthy environment." That was as close as he ever came to publicly naming LaBeouf. No greetings, no attempts at mending, not even a polite nod at premieres. For Keanu, Shia remains the actor he simply refuses to let near his world again. Jared Leto, the method actor whose extremes pushed Keanu over the edge. What happens when Keanu Reeves, the calmest actor in Hollywood, is forced to work near someone as extreme as Jared Leto? The answer shocked even the people who thought they knew Keanu best, because Leto is one of the rare actors who dragged him from quiet discomfort into genuine resentment. Their tension began long before either man spoke about it. It started the first time Keanu heard stories from crew members who had just worked with Leto. Instead of preparation and respect, they described disturbing method acting stunts, sending dead animals to co-stars, refusing to break character, demanding unpredictable rewrites, and creating an environment where everyone felt on edge. Keanu immediately understood the danger. Later, Keanu said quietly, "You can't harm people in the name of art." That was the moment he drew an invisible line. The breaking point came during a closed casting meeting in 2011. A director suggested pairing the two together for a psychological thriller. Before the sentence even finished, a casting executive remembered Keanu exhaling sharply and shaking his head. Then, in one of the rare blunt moments of his career, he said, "Chaos isn't a technique, it's a warning sign." Everyone in the room fell silent. They knew exactly who he meant. Leto continued escalating his behavior, injuring himself on set, sending grotesque gifts to cast members, and insisting that suffering was part of authenticity. Keanu saw it differently. To him, Leto wasn't deep. He was dangerous. His methods created fear instead of trust. By 2016, studios stopped trying to pair them. Keanu refused discreetly every time. Today, they avoid each other entirely. No greetings, no small talk, no acknowledgement at award ceremonies. For Keanu, Jared Leto represents the one thing he will never accept in filmmaking: pain disguised as artistry. Val Kilmer, the ego that collided violently with Keanu's humility. Val Kilmer is the only actor on Keanu Reeves's list whose reputation arrived long before he did. Everyone warned Keanu, "Kilmer is brilliant, but he'll burn the room down to get what he wants." Keanu didn't believe it until he saw the man in action. And that was the day admiration turned into unshakable resentment. Their tension started during the early 1990s, when both were frequently considered for similar roles in action and drama films. Kilmer would storm into auditions with heavy critiques, dismissing other actors' work openly. Kilmer glanced at Keanu's audition tape and scoffed, "He's too simple." Acting requires fire, not stillness. Keanu never forgot that line, not because it hurt, but because it revealed exactly who Kilmer was. The real rupture came later at a studio dinner in 1995. Kilmer criticized a young cinematographer for not lighting him like a legend, and when Keanu tried to defuse the situation, Kilmer snapped, "Don't play wise monk with me." Keanu froze and felt disappointment. Then he whispered, "You don't belittle people you depend on." For him, that was the final nail. When a major studio pitched a Keanu-Kilmer pairing in 2004, Keanu rejected it without hesitation. No explanation, just a firm no. Today, the two men walk past each other at events without a word. Not hostility, just a cold, permanent distance. Sean Young, the unpredictable force. Keanu Reeves refused to stand near again. Sean Young is the only person Keanu Reeves avoided not out of anger, but out of pure exhaustion. With the others, the tension was philosophical. With Sean, it was survival. The very first time their paths crossed at a 1989 industry rehearsal, Sean showed up late, slammed her script onto the table, and began accusing the director of playing favorites. Keanu watched her turn the room upside down in less than 3 minutes. That moment marked the beginning of a silent resentment that would only grow darker over the years. The real collision came in 1994 during a casting session where both were shortlisted for a same studio project. Sean openly mocked another actress's performance, then turned to Keanu and said, "This business loves quiet boys like you. They're easy to control." Yet Keanu didn't respond. He simply closed his notebook and left the room. Later that evening, he confided, "Cruelty disguised as confidence is still cruelty." It was one of the rare times he ever voiced disapproval of another actor. Sean continued spiraling publicly, alcohol-related incidents, storming film sets uninvited, fighting with directors, accusing producers of conspiracies, and turning press events into chaos. Keanu saw the pattern clearly. Every project she touched came with collateral damage. In 2006, when a thriller script was offered to Keanu, he immediately rejected it after discovering Sean Young was being considered for a supporting role. A producer insisted, "She's cleaned up." Keanu simply replied, "I don't want people hurt again." There's no insults, no public attacks, just distance. Cold, controlled distance. Sean Young became the type of storm Keanu Reeves learned to walk away from long before it reached him. So, what do you think? Were these rivalries justified, or do they reveal a darker side of Hollywood none of us ever see? Tell me in the comments whose story shocked you the most. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the truth behind Hollywood's most explosive secrets.